I wanted to do this video for such a long time. Do you have an issue with affirmations? Maybe you're saying them and you just don't believe it, right? Maybe you have the same problem with reframing as well. There are issues with reframing that we do need to start addressing. A lot of women, female leaders, business women that come to me for energy and well-being mentoring actually come to me and they're already reframing. But the issue is what they are reframing, their body isn't on board with. They've been saying this stuff for a long time and their body is like going, nah. It's got, there's a lot of issues within the body, and they'll go, as soon as we get to the crux of the issue, where the pain point is in the body, and they start releasing it, they'll go, I thought I got rid of that. I thought like I've moved on from that. I thought I processed that information. But they hadn't, because all that they've done is reframed it. It's almost like taking a bin full of dog shit and just painting it to say candy floss on the side of it, and actually it's still just a bin of dog shit. Do you see what I mean? And I'm not saying, your issues are dog shit, because they're not, right? But the thing that I want to get to today is that there are a lot of issues with reframing when it's not believed by the body, when the nervous system isn't on board with it, when your mind isn't quite there. Your mind's telling it, but it's almost like gaslighting. It is true, it's true, it's true. No, it's not. So there are a lot of problems. And what happens with reframing is that we end up with suppression. So if reframing does work, by the way, I'm not saying it doesn't work. It works, right? It works. But if someone doesn't believe it, it's just dismissing them. They're not then being heard by themselves. So what happens is when we reframe and the body's not believing it, it turns into suppression. And that can lead to a pattern of behaviours. So it can lead to eating issues where we're stuffing down food, to suppress the information. Or it might be that we end up exploding all over someone, right? Or we end up holding a grudge, or we end up feeling resentful. We end up feeling all these things because we're not articulating in the way that we really, really, really need to, and we really want to, right? We end up people pleasing instead, because we end up being a bit different, when really, is it our words or is it someone else's words? When working with me, we're working on your words, your articulation. It's so unique to you. When clients come and see me and we release something from the body and they start articulating something out, and they'll go to me, oh my God, I never talk like that. And I'm like, no, because you suppressed it. You've suppressed what you actually want to say, the way nature intended. But you've suppressed this kind of words from coming out of your system. That could be swear words. That could be the way you articulate something across. Maybe you use, longer words usually, but there are a lot shorter words, coming out of your mouth instead. Just different ways to say things that are more resonant with you than as you're letting go. So how do you reframe? Firstly, you need to make sure your body is on board with it. You can reframe, like someone may go, you know what, actually, I think you need to reframe that. And when you go to reframe that, it makes sense, right? You like go, and it processes a bit of information. Oh, yes, yeah, actually. And your body, you know it. You know if your body feels on board with it. If your body is not on board with it, you'll feel a bit dubious about it. You'll actually doubt, you'll actually go, actually, it doesn't still, and you're and maybe you might even push along to people please. Oh, yeah, okay, I get what you mean. Yeah. But your body isn't actually on board with it, and it has to be on board with it, and it needs to be believable. And you could actually start with saying something that's more believable. I am learning to. I'm starting to. I'm growing into. I'm growing to do this. No. I'm using my words differently. So you could actually do things a little bit differently or word them in a different way so it's more believable for you and your body. Now, this is just a generalized video, right? If you want something more bespoke, then just click the link above or below, the Energy and Wellbeing Mentoring. And you can either work with me in person or you can work with me online. And we will find out your unique words, the words that suit you, the words that your body is actually holding on to. It's amazing, the plethora of articulation the body is holding on to on a daily basis, right? And it's about you mastering it. When you master you, what happens is then you feel into believing it. You know it. It's like, oh yeah, I believe it. Right. And you do. You believe in the reframe because the reframe is no longer a suppression of animosity, anger, hidden psychological stress. That's what everything boils down to. Hidden psychological stress. And that's causing all the issues within the body. Right? All the pains, the weak muscles, the issues, the looking the other way when you step off the curb and you sprain your ankle, right? Hidden psychological stress, it all comes down to. And once you start to master your own hidden psychological stress, you master your own body and you start to release and articulate out, or however it needs to be released out of your system, you start not suppressing anymore. You start letting go. Your eating habits change in alignment with that. You no longer have to stuff down your ill will feelings towards anyone else or anything like that, right? And you no longer have to have that extra drink just to calm yourself down because you no longer need to suppress whatever's underneath. So I'm going to leave it there for today. And if this resonates with you in any way, then reach out. And as I said, my details are above, below, you can see, or you can just check out all my other information as well. Speak soon.